Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and it's Brick All O'Clock with an interesting package from bricklink.com. So not the biggest package this one, but definitely an interesting one, as I say. It's got a couple of very interesting parts that I've been looking forward to getting that are, well, kind of vital for particular builds. Put Robin back here. Oh, incidentally, I've been chugging on with my advent calendar, and at first I found it quite surprising. People like Harl Hubs here, who's a handyman, came with accessories such as a stick of dynamite. I thought that was the last type of handyman one would employ, but then I realised that's probably his gift for another one of the minifigures included in the advent calendar. So he's probably going to be giving that to Daisy Kaboom, because when I got the policeman, Duke Dutain, he had a spanner, and that was kind of confusing to me as well. But maybe that's his gift for Harl here. Goodness knows where the name Harl comes from. I've never heard of that one before, but nonetheless. And actually, he came with a spare brown utility belt, which was really good. I already used that in my factory build, so very happy to have that. Anyway, I'm wittering again. On to the order. So, looks very well bagged and neat. Let me tip all that out. Ooh, something went on the floor. There's actually some loose pieces in there. Oh, and another one. I think maybe a bag opened in transit. Let me go and find that. Oh, there we go. Right. Okay, so in no particular order. I guess I'll do the black loose stuff first, shall I? There's just a few of these modified plates, one of those round things. There's going to be a few parts today for kind of a mini build, because I want to build Electrolyzer's glider type thing from the Ultra Agents Ocean HQ set 70173. I've got the minifigure, as you may remember, so I kind of thought if I could piece together his glider, he could be flying above Brick Nottingham, either because he's late for the meeting in the town hall, because he's not in that scene with all the other supervillains, or maybe just because he's up to no good and he's got a bit of a hall pass, so to speak. So it'll be interesting to see if I can get all that. I won't be able to get the stickers that go on that mini build just because it's so rare. I don't know if that set wasn't out very long, or if it was just only available in the States, but it's incredibly hard to buy, well, direct through eBay or even in the second-hand market through Bricklink. So yeah, very hard. But not to worry. I'll manage to piece it together. Then more black pieces. I'm always running out of black plates. So there's loads of 1x2s and 1x4s in there. I bought far more than I need for current projects, just so I've got enough for when they inevitably run out. I've got a few of these little flower pieces in pink. They're the Friends ones. I think I've probably got enough of those now. I keep saying that for certain things and then keep buying more of them. Oh, and forgot about that. I got a horn piece just in this tan colour, dark tan. And I used the last one of those for kind of a coffee spill when somebody was alarmed and they were spilling their tea or coffee. So I can do that again. One of those double slopes. I think that's for the Flamingo Club. Now, while I was here, because I chose this vendor for a couple of very special pieces we'll see in a moment, but while I was here, ooh, a nice hair, I thought I'd get as many cheap pieces as I could. So I've got these for my sea bottom, so the sand of my undersea setup, because they were very cheap. Some 2x4s in grey, very cheap. Here's some more very cheap things for dark tan for more sea bottom, just to get some irregular shapes. Here's a couple more. These would have been 2 or 3p each or something, and you very quickly you can end up with a nice sort of segment of sea bottom. So that's what they're for. So I may as well move straight on to the main reason for choosing this vendor, was because he was the only one in the UK who had 4 of these rather wonderful doors that are printed pieces, not stickers, and they are incredibly old, which is partially why they're in the condition they are in. So here is the 2, ooh, bit loose on the old clutch power as well, actually. It shows how old they are. They're actually from 1971, would you believe? The refrigerator truck and trailer set, 375. there was actually another set called 375, which is actually that yellow castle that's very famous from 1978. But this was 7 whole years earlier, so this came first. And you can see that there's some rather large scratches on that one. And on the lettering of the N, especially there. That one's a bit better. And then on these ones, I think that bottom one's probably the worst one, with damage throughout the fish and the T and the R. And that one might be the best one. There's a couple of speckles there. Now, this isn't the buyer's, rather the seller's fault at all. For a start, he showed me very generously a picture of all of these doors before I committed to buying them. And I was more focused on the fact that these doors aren't sun damaged. I mean, they are largely white. They're probably slightly off brand new piece white, but they definitely aren't yellowed too badly at all. So when I use these, and I need 2 pairs of them to make 2 pairs of doors, unsurprisingly, then they will fit in with other white bricks. And the fact that they're slightly scratched, most noticeably there and down there, isn't a problem for me, I don't think, because things get scratched in real life, so why shouldn't they in Lego terms? And I don't think it's telling too much to say that I'm going to be using these to make a refrigerated wagon for my cargo train. So having a pair of doors on each side of the wagon like that will look rather good, I think. And obviously it's for transporting frozen goods, in this case fish. Yeah, and I think that'll look really good. So what rail carriage in real life doesn't have a bit of scratching to the outside? I mean, really. So I haven't got all the pieces for that build by any means, but I thought the first step was to get the most important ones, and they are now secure, so that's really good. So I'm very happy with those. See if I can stand them up. They'll probably... Yeah, I won't bother standing them up. So that's why I chose this vendor. And while I was there, I've got loads of pieces for loads of other things. So these 2 red Technic bricks are actually for my factory build. I'm still buying pieces for that because I needed a few more bricks that were different for those very late amendments, which were to do with getting those robot arms moving on the very top floor. So these are vital for that. I got some in sand colour just because I'm going to need those under the sea to support things that have got a Technic axle in them, all those barnacle pieces and stuff. These are for street lamps, as are those, as are, or is that. So that's all relatively straightforward. Here's some odd bits in white. Got one of those jet engine pieces, a couple of pieces for kind of buggies or ATVs. A lot of those modified plates or modified tiles, depending on which way you look at it. I think I'll probably use those in my refrigerated car as well. More plates just for stock. 2x4s in black. 1x2s in blue. Those 2 mudguards are actually for that electrolyzer flying machine. They kind of are used like that actually, which is quite interesting, to make kind of a little capsule for him to stand in. So yeah, I think that'll be fun. What else have I got in here? I've got 4 inverted slopes there for a railway carriage, but a different one. And some hinge bricks and so on. Very good. Those are for my refrigerated train car. Loads of the profile bricks with the grill going horizontal one side and vertical on the other. You'll be familiar with those. Here's some more random black pieces that must have leaked. 2x4s in dark bluish grey as well. So I think this vendor basically was selling loads of very common pieces for a few pennies. So I just, once I had the really important stuff secured, just filled my boots, as I always say. More for sand. So 2x6s and these 2x2 round plates. Like a nice big heap here. Oh, an empty bag. That must have been where the black pieces came from. Now here's some more interesting ones. You'll probably recognise these if you watch all my hauls. These are the bright trans green version of the Hero Factory pieces that before I got in trans red. So they aren't neon trans green, which is not ideal, I suppose, because then they would glow in the dark, but they're very good and very fun. And in fact, I hadn't noticed that in the red one before. They're kind of almost 3D, aren't they? Do you see that effect? Where they sort of almost look Like the back's moving at a different speed from the front. I don't know if the camera's picking that up at all, but it looks amazing to the eye. Anyway, those pieces were part of the 6202 Rocker character from 2012. There's been lots of versions of him. And I just thought those would be coral again underneath the sea. And if you put them at an angle or something like that, I think they'd look rather wonderful. And I think they've got they've got an axle hole at the bottom, so that's how they'll be supported. So they're great. I could even get more red and more green ones of those as well, to be honest. Then we've got some more trans pieces. Those are for Electrolyzer's buggy. Couldn't honestly remember. Now this was interesting. Just a round tile, but this one's got the printed pattern of a lifesaver or a life ring. And they were from 4 different SpongeBob sets, including 3815, Heroic Heroes of the Deep, which is a fantastic name for a set, from 2011. And that set had Plankton in, who's my favourite character from SpongeBob. So that's good. So I don't know, I'll use that one of my boats, no doubt. I hadn't really planned to buy that. I've got a wand, which I thought I might be able to use under the sea. Not sure, so I just bought one. This bag looks interesting as well. I got some... little modified plate there. I got some seats in dark pink. And I hadn't really seen them in dark pink before. And I got 4, so wherever I use them, I'll probably have enough. So I could use these in a bar, I don't know, or outside a restaurant. In fact, in the outside seating of my diner, I've got some pink and white tablecloths because that diner sign, you know, the big modular, is in this... maybe this dark pink. I can't remember if it's this dark pink or another one. I think it's this pink. So that would match there as well. So maybe I could put some sort of 1x1 round bricks underneath and have them as high chairs. I don't know. But I just thought they were really interesting. So really good variety for the city to have those. A skateboard to feed my addiction. And it's a bit of a shame because it's quite poorly damaged, actually. Oh, that is a shame. So the stick you can see is coming up there near my thumbnail. Quite a bit, actually. I'm not sure if that's salvageable. I'll try and mend it using my patented hot tea technique. But I'm not sure if I'm going to be successful when the damage is like that. Anyway, that is from 41327, Mia's Bedroom from 2018. Friend set, obviously. So yeah, that is a shame, isn't it? Well, we'll have to see how that cleans up before we decide whether to put that back on the wanted list or not. A couple of gears, which I'll probably use in my factory. And then a couple of bright green plates for my fairground. Yellow bag. These are for my factory as well, all these 1x8s. These are just to change the height of the conveyor at the top because of the modifications we did with those arms. So I need those. Headlight bricks, I think they're for Electrolyzer's thing. And I've bought more of these lovely yellow ladder pieces for train builds because I really like them, effectively. So the yellow ones are nice and bright. More keenly priced wedge plates for under the sea. That's a really good shape, that, isn't it? Really like those. And a bag within a bag. Because it says new on it. Can't really reuse these tiny, tiny bags. That's why I ripped the tops off them. Right, so we've got one of those. Can't remember. One more brick. It was a keen price, so I just thought I would add that to my factory build. Can always use more of those. One of those oil cans, but in silver. Minifigure utensil or accessory. And then one of those 1x1 kind of Postit Note type tiles. It's only a few pennies. These are really from friend sets, but I first noticed them when they were part of the old fishing store, 21310 from 2017. And I don't know where I used that, but it can't be that hard, can it? Wherever there's sort of a reception desk or somebody working, they could have some Post-it notes. Then we have a horse. So this is a lovely horse, and it's one of those ones where it's got the movable back legs, so it can either be sort of rearing up or galloping away or something like that. And it's got lovely face and bridle. It looks really nice. And that's part of the Harry Potter set, Beau Baton's Carriage. 75958. And I was thinking I'd use that around my castle somewhere because I don't have enough horses, and it was just a really pretty one anyway, so I thought I'd use that. He doesn't stand up very well. Then another bag of cheap tan stuff, and I got those really sort of angular ones, kind of sometimes used on aircraft or something like that. That's a really good shape, very different. I've got a couple of those, and the other ones are the kind of smoother version, and I got them as well, so I could kind of use them to join up the other side to make kind of a little hillock or something like that for detail underneath the ocean again. Could almost use those on my beach, but I probably don't have room, so that's really good as well. And then, oh no, second last bag, a few of those undercarriage kind of landing gear type pieces, but I always use those as tables for bars or cafes or diners or restaurants or something like that, maybe with a bigger surface on top, but they're really useful. And then, two absolutely wonderful animals. So the first one is a parrot for my parrot collection, and that is in a colour that I don't have yet, which is medium blue. And the reason why I don't have that yet is because it was in very few sets, 2 actually, only, which were Belleville Golden Land sets from 2003 and 4. No, me either. And one of those is 5857, Safran's Amazing Bazaar. Yeah, but he's rather wonderful. So I'll add him to my Paradise Cafe, where he can join all the other parrots. And then last but very, very much not least, I've got this, which is obviously an octopus, but this is a very special octopus because it's from set 8636, Mission 8, Deep Sea Quest, which is an agent's set. But this is very special because it actually is neon in its colouring, or at least you can see the sort of marbledness. We've got kind of 2 different plastics in here, with the white stuff that's kind of in the blue plastic, seems to be kind of in the middle of all of it, that glows under UV light. So this is going to look an absolute picture as part of my undersea setup when I do put on a UV light, because he's going to glow like crazy. And I did a quick Google to see if it was actually realistic to life, if octopuses did, or octopi, what's the plural there? I don't know. If they did actually have bioluminescence, which is when a creature does literally emit light. And there are a couple of octopuses that do, but usually only from the suckers. But all octopuses can change colour to a degree, or at least mimic the colours around them by changing little pockets of ink kind of stuff in their skin. So that's really interesting. Anyway, I think he'll look absolutely fantastic. And I think I might have to get my UV light just so I can show you it in action. Cool. So, a rather fantastic haul. It would be fantastic just with these pieces in, but I did manage to get quite a few other really interesting pieces, like these wonderful trans neon green kind of almost hologrammatic type things. So you can see it better there. You see how it looks hologrammatic? That's mad, that. These lovely seats I really like as well. And lots of little parts for projects, including skateboard, horse, and stuff for Electrolyzer. Very cool. Right, so I turned off all of my lighting. So we've only got the natural light from the window and the UV light from my UV torch. And it turns out I was wrong. These pieces do glow under UV light, and they look absolutely dazzling. Wonderful pieces, so I'm really happy to have those. There's that wand, that's obviously in trans neon green as well, and that's glowing. And then you can see this wonderful glowing octopus. I mean, he's just magnificent if you ask me. So what a wonderful piece to have. And I think actually I was slightly wrong in that this is actually glow in the dark, so even when I remove the light, it does still glow a little bit, at least for a short period of time. But there we go, charge them up again. So wonderful, wonderful pieces to have. Very happy. So all in all, a rather awesome haul. I think the highlights are obviously those doors and all of the wonderful animals, being the horse, parrot and octopus. So yeah, fantastic. So as always, thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome LEGO videos. And if you value this channel, there are many ways in which you can support it. Check out the links in the description below. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, we'll be back in the city of Brick Nottingham for another LEGO City update. And then we'll be on to part 5 of the factory build on Monday. Awesome. See you then.